Hey, welcome back to the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Controversy, and to my right, as per usual, my co-host, none other than Mr.
DARREN.
And together, we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys for tuning in once again to another episode this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in once again to a brand new episode. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, all we ask is that you guys like, comment and subscribe to the channel, because it helps the channel to grow and to expand and, you know, more people to see the content, etc. So yeah, without further ado, welcome to the Philosophy Podcast. What is on the agenda for today, mate? What is on the cards for today, mate? What is this week's hot topic?
Let's talk about freedom this week, yeah?
Freedom?
Freedom.
So this week we are talking about
Freedom.
freedom!
Yeah, freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
What is freedom?
What is freedom? Good question. What is freedom, mate?
I don't know.
No, that's a good start then, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
I
know
don't know
what I
anything
mean?
about freedom. I don't know.
Well,
No.
you're free. You're currently free, physically.
Well, what is freedom? You know.
It depends on what your definition of freedom is. The word, obviously, everyone has a generic definition of what the word freedom means, if you see what I mean. And most people associate that word freedom with physical freedom, if you see what I mean, if you get what I'm saying, you know. But freedom is lot, you know. Freedom is that's a broad spectrum, if you see what I mean. It depends on what you define, what freedom means to you, what you define, what your definition of freedom is, if you see what I mean, you know. And even though you might be physically free, you know, you might not be in prison or whatever the case may be, no one is completely free, if you see what I mean. Like we were talking about earlier, like everyone is still a part of the system, unless you're one of these people that's fortunate enough to have been able to financially, you know, put together a lot of money over the years and sort yourself out to the point where you've been able to go and live off-grid and do your own thing, away from society, and just have your own farm and land and away from people and shit. There are some people that have done that and are doing it currently right now. But the average everyday person is still a part of the system. Still,
you can't run away from it.
You know, you're still financially connected to it.
You've got to follow the laws.
You still got employment. You're still employed. You're still relying on the financial system. You're reliant on the supermarket and the shops for your food, for your clothing, for everything else. Like, you know, you're completely fully reliant on the system and the current construct of society that exists in order to live your life and to get, you know, to have all the things that you need, if you see what I mean, to survive, and your necessities and essentials and your luxuries, if that is the case as well, because obviously, you know, not everything is a necessity. Some things are luxuries, you know, if you're in a position to afford those luxuries. But yeah, you know, it's, you know. Yeah.
Well, you know, looking at my life, I've had loads of relationships in the past. And this is the first time I've been free, really sort of on my own.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really sort of good fun in the kind of way that I haven't got anyone shouting at me anymore, you know, or I've got no one to shout at or anything, you know. Quite a peaceful life in the kind of way, you know, and I find myself feeling a lot freer in life because I ain't got anyone to look after.
Yeah.
You know, or to take care of or think about, you know.
Yeah. That don't have any any obligations outside of yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, all I've got now in my life is myself, you know, to look after, you know, and my children are all grown up now, you know, and I just feel more freer in life now, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not married anymore, you know, personally, you know, because I can do what I want, you know, now.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't got anyone in my way anymore, stopping me doing whatever I want to do in life, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're in a relationship, I find that it does stop you from doing some things that you want to do. You know, I
Of
mean,
course,
you can do the things you want, but it kind of puts your life on hold. You know, because you've got to take care of that other person sometimes. You know, and spend time on that other person.
Yeah.
Or spend time with your children. Time's another thing, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I haven't got to do that anymore. You know, I've got to spend time with my children.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on them anymore. You know, because they're adults.
All grown up.
Or,
Yeah.
you know, it's freedom to me is, you know, sort of like we're all free to hate everything. You know, like every star.
If
You're free to hate yourself.
if you wanted to.
You're
Yeah.
free to even hate yourself. You know, you're free to hate every spider, or if you didn't like, you know, like dogs, you're free to hate them.
Yeah.
You know, that's freedom, all right. And you're free to worry in the moment. You know, and I talk about the moment, all right. The moment is important. You know, because you're sort of free to do anything you want right at the moment. You know, I'm free to walk off right now.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, and you're free to love everything you want as well. You know, you're free to love every star, every bit of grass.
Yeah.
You know, free. You know, personally, I love everything in nature.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I love everything alive in nature.
Yeah.
Every plant. You know, can you imagine if there was a bit of grass growing on the moon?
Yeah.
What a miracle that'd be.
Mm.
You know, because it would be, because there's no oxygen for one. You know, but maybe grass can grow without oxygen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some grass that can grow that you don't even have to water.
Yeah.
There's some plants that you don't have to water.
Mm.
They get the water off the moisture.
Mm.
You know. But like freedom, I mean, is every bird free?
Yeah.
You know, are we free? I don't think we're so free because we got clocks and things like that, haven't we? You know, like me, I haven't got a job, so I'm free in that way. I'm free because I'm not in a relationship at the moment, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not free of clocks. You know, I've still got to look at the time now and again and put my clocks back twice a year. So in a kind of way, I think, hang on, I wish we didn't have to put clocks back, you know, in a kind of way. It annoys me. You know, it takes my freedom away because sometimes I might be doing something and I think, you know, then I've got the wrong time, you know, because they jumped it back, you know, it's confused me. You know, and I think, why do they confuse people, you know?
Yeah.
But apparently they switched, you know, they did this in the olden days. I'm talking about 200 years ago, 300 years ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Because the farmers wanted more light or something, they put the time clocks back and all this sort of stuff, you know, so they could get up early and, well, you know, it's more to do with the farmers and light and time.
And light and that kind of stuff,
you know. But in this modern world, I find it a little bit ridiculous that we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Putting clocks backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
It's making fun, you know, that's why I don't think we're so free as we, you know, there's certain things that we, you know, like laws that we've got to follow.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not as free.
Yeah.
You know, like to take every drug you want. You know, so it's against the law to take certain drugs.
I think in the society that exists today, right, mate, you have to have all these things are important. You have to have a society where there are laws. If we're gonna have a moralistic society where we're implementing the rule of law based upon a moral code, which basically the laws are basically made around, you know, if you kill someone, you go to prison. If you rob someone, you go to prison. You do any of these things, you go to prison, because it's all things that you've done wrong to someone else, or whatever the case may be. But that's fair enough, if you see what I mean, you know. But yeah, you know, it's.
Do you think, like, going back?
But we have to have. Basically, all I'm trying to say though is that we have to have structure. All these things.
Humans do, I think.
All humans do. Humans do. All these things are important in our society, but it's just getting it right. You know, like, you know, a lot of people are in prison that don't deserve to be in prison. You know, and all sorts of shit. You know, hundreds, you know, more than that, probably hundreds of thousands of people who are in prison right now that, you know, shouldn't be in prison or don't deserve to be there anymore. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine it? You know, like the animals, all the birds, you know, like having a court system that we've got, and have laws that you're not allowed to murder another bird, you know, and things like that, yeah. And they had police birds.
Yeah.
Like the seagulls were police, they wore police hats.
Yeah, but because we're human beings, though, our way of we have, because of our the way we've evolved, our society, our construct of our modern day society has evolved. We have implemented these things, like I said, based on the moral code, going back to morality, and people as human beings have come to an agreement in what we determine is right and wrong.
Yeah, but humans are probably the worst animal out of them all.
Oh, most definitely.
Right, and they got books. Definitely. They got books of laws, you know, and all this sort of stuff. Right, big books like this, whatever, you know. And like I say, the animals and birds ain't got books.
Yeah.
They don't follow any laws, but they seem to be perfect.
Human beings, human beings, right, mate, need structure.
They do. I mean, can you imagine?
If our society did not have structure today, mate, if we didn't have laws today, mate, could you imagine the kind of world that we'd be living in? No, sit down and really think about it, mate. Could you imagine the world that we'd be living in today if there were no laws in place? People could just do whatever they want, no repercussions for whatever they did. Unless the person that they did it to came and got them back somehow. If you see what I mean? Like, can you imagine that, mate? People would be running around doing all sorts of it,
We didn't have no government or no police.
Or any of that. Can you imagine, mate? The world would be crazy, mate. People would be doing all sorts of terrible shit.
I mean, a lot of people don't
terrible shit to people.
There's a lot of people that don't really like a government or the police, but I think we need them, don't we?
You need the society because of the society that has been designed the way it is today. You know, not saying it's either right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what it is. What it is. We are, we were born into it. At this current point, we are not about this current point where it is today. How where it's evolved to, and it's like it is what it is. But we have to, it's about getting it right. Like I said,
I mean, this system we've got to, thousands of years to evolve to look like we've got it today.
Yeah. It's like, if your mum is at home, your mother, who is a civilian, everyday average citizen, someone's trying to break into her home late at night, you kind of have peace of mind knowing that she has the chance to pick her mobile up. She woke up, heard the noise, saw someone, had the chance to pick her mobile up and ring 999, and knowing that the police would probably get there within a few minutes, and you know what I mean. If you get what I'm trying to say, so like that's what I'm saying. People like we still need we like there is a need for certain things, because it's like the old woman. If you see an old woman that just got robbed down the street, not saying me, because I don't talk to the police. I would never say anything. Like I haven't seen anything. I don't whatever. I don't.
I'll tell him everything.
I never say a word.
I'll tell him everything.
He's just kidding. But no, I don't tell him a word. But just saying an old lady's getting mugged down the street. You just got robbed, you know what I mean? Someone just robbed an old lady, you know what I mean? If someone rings the coppers, then it's that thing of knowing that old lady's going to be alright kind of thing,
Mobiles have made the world a bit safer, I think, in a funny way, because people, you don't know who's got a mobile, who's not got one, really,
Yeah.
But let's say half of us got a mobile today,
Yeah.
Half of us.
Yeah.
But if you're a robber,
yeah,
and you're a person that likes going around, trying to steal your money, whatever, you're going to think, well, people, you've got to give up that one, because you don't know whether that person's got a phone or not.
Yeah.
And it's made the world safer in a funny way, because, people can just phone on the police straight away.
But that's what I'm saying, you want something in place. Like me, I personally don't have any dealings whatsoever with the police, never have. Anytime I've been ever interviewed, I always say I don't know anything. I haven't seen anything, I don't know anything, and that's it. You know what I mean? In my few dealings that I've ever had with the police a few times in my life. But I still rest. At the end of the day, you know that there's a reason that they're there. They're there for the people that are vulnerable, the average everyday citizen, who is living, the average normal everyday lifestyle. Like they kind of rest assured knowing that if their house catches on fire, there's they can call the fire brigade. You know what I mean? And the fire brigade would probably get there within 7 to 10 minutes and help them put the fire out and like all things that are needed for society. If you see what I mean.
It's taken a long time to sort of
to get to this
evolve
to get to this point.
like this,
To this point,
I mean, a long time ago, we used, there weren't policemen around. They didn't exist. Every person, every citizen was a soldier, or was a policeman, or was a nurse.
Yeah.
In a kind of way, you're a person, right? And you're gonna, if you're a normal person that's been brought up properly, whatever, you're gonna sort of help people, or if there's going to be a situation, you're going to try to sort of solve it. Back then I'm talking about, things have changed now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Completely different dimension almost. We've got computers, we've got phones, and people are not like they used to be.
Yeah.
Completely changed completely to how we used to be. I think. A long time ago, we didn't have mobiles, so people used to, we didn't have TVs or anything.
Well, we're living in a technological age, mate, and it's slowly advancing into the artificial intelligence age, the AI age. It's been a slow progression from the technological age, getting a bit better and better and more progressive, whether it be with the internet, with a smartphone, or...
Go on.
Okay.
Just carry on.
Oh, I don't know what to say now.
We're living in the technological...
yeah, that was it, yeah. So yeah, we're living in a technological age that is, we're slowly advancing into the artificial intelligence age, sorry. And that's what it is,
It's a funny mistake.
Yeah, but that's just what it is. It's been a slow progression, over time. Everything's advanced, from the computer to the smartphone to the TV to the internet to the Wi-Fi to everything. We've come so far. We're at a point where now we've progressed this far technologically, and with the internet and everything else, and now we're going into the artificial intelligence age where,
I think, like, if electric went away, what kind of age would we go into then?
Well, we have come so far as human beings that can never happen now, because we have built natural renewable energy sources that we can always produce electricity.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe someone up there, high up, can turn it off.
They can't turn it off because when you've got massive wind turbines and
someone
shit,
someone can shut down.
They would have to destroy the shit.
Someone, right, I don't know who, but can actually shut down all the shops all around the world, which they did, and change the world in one day.
Yeah.
And someone could decide to black out things.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. There's a power up there that could have got control.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And like the electric's going sky high today, isn't it?
Yeah. Ridiculously high.
But yeah, and next year it's going to go up even more.
Yeah.
And all the cars going to go electric.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think people will be free. We're talking about freedom here, I don't think people will be. People aren't as free as they used to be, I don't think, because it's shut down. I am, personally, alright, I'm lucky, but I don't think so many people are. They've got to do more hours to get money.
Right now, these people are pushing for this. What it's heading towards is like this whole biometric ID shit, where everything is digital. If you see what I mean, like everything is digital. Everyone's got a chip.
Yeah.
Essentially, or like a mark, or like something where it's you've got a barcode.
Yeah, personally, I don't think I think you'll feel the same. If I had a chip on me, I want to cut my arm off. I mean, I just don't want it there.
That's what I mean. Like I think I think this is what it's all about. Essentially, it's going towards this biometric, this idea of this biometric ID, where everyone's got a chip and everything's on it. Their money, everything else is on it. You know what I mean? All their information, like, you know what I mean, like who they are, where they're born, all their information as a human being, medical history, you know, financial situation, etc. You know, tells them your career, like literally has all your information stored into it essentially.
Well, having a chain around your neck.
And I think that's what we're heading towards.
It's like having a chain around your leg.
I think that's what we're really heading towards, to be very honest with you. You know, it appears that way, you know. So, you know. Yeah. People aren't as, like going, like you just said, we're not as free as we think we are. Yeah. As we like to think we are. There's people every day making decisions for our lives on a daily basis. People in very high, powerful positions, very high, you know, whether it be in politics or outside of that, you know, people who are much higher than that, you know. They make big decisions every single day that impact people's lives on a daily basis. You know, that's just the reality of it. You know, there are people in those positions of power that have to make certain decisions in regards to whatever it may be that has a direct or indirect effect upon other people.
Oh, like that shutdown.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, we're not as free as we like to think.
That shutdown stopped a lot of people being so free.
Well, it did. It did. And anyone that went against the grain, you know what happened to them? You know, I mean, they ended up in a lot of trouble.
Mm.
You know.
But like, I think it's all to do with a mindset, really. Freedom, having the right attitude in life. Again, you know, you've got to live in the moment, I think. It's no good living in the past, which I've done before, you know, I've made that mistake, you know, but I'm living now, do you know what I mean? And like I talking about earlier on, you've got to forgive people from the past, you know,
yeah,
that have upset you or whatever, you know, and then you can move on, can't you? You know,
yeah.
if you let go.
You have to let go.
You let go of who you love. You know, I'm not here for long anyway, are we, really, you know, and, you know, like, I fell in love a few times now, you know, like I said, I've had a few relationships, and now I think, what is love? You know, and I think I found love now, you know, it is loving yourself.
That's it.
You know, that's what's important.
I mean, you've got to love yourself first.
And then I think, like, if you do, you know, we've said it before, you know, but if you do, you can be free in life, I feel, that you can actually enjoy life.
Well, how can you expect other people to love you? Or how can you expect to love other people if you don't even love yourself?
That's it.
So loving yourself is the first thing. You've got to learn to be, you know, centered within yourself. You know, balance. You know, you've got to love yourself first, and then from that, that makes it easier to love other people, and you know, for other people to love you, because they realise you're in tune with yourself. You know, you're who you are without, you know, you're yourself. You know.
So you're all free to sort of live in the past if you want.
Yeah.
You know, or you're free to worry in the moment. You're free to be happy or free to smile.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're free to be angry. You know, and so on and so on. That's what freedom is, I think. You know, more than anything, and you're free to enjoy the moment. You know, and be humble.
Yeah.
And have peace of mind. You know. But you won't be free, really, if you've got hate in you.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, so you're free to hate, yeah? But you won't be free in life if you have got hate in you.
Yeah.
You can only be free if you haven't got no hate in you.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, and the same with anger, again, you know? You know, you're not going to be... You're free to get angry, again. Free to be angry as a monster, if you want, you know? But... Again, you know, you're not going to be free in life of yourself.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I think freedom is happiness as well. You know.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're happy in life, you got to feel that means you're feeling free in life. I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. Happiness plays a big part in feeling, free free
That's right.
on an individual level,
That's right.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm loving, personally I'm loving life more than ever.
Yeah.
Right, and to be honest, I don't think I want another relationship, do you know what I mean? I want to be free of all that.
Yeah.
You know, I've done that, you know. I've
Yeah.
done it quite a few times actually, but you know, and I've got all the memories of that too, which is great, you know. Some
Yeah.
people haven't had those, experiences, if you know what I mean. So I'm lucky to have the experiences of having a family, whatever,
Yeah.
and lucky enough to sort of, that's all gone now, and I'm lucky enough to sort of enjoy life like a bird in a kind of way, be free as a bird.
Yeah.
But I'm not like free entirely, because I still, like I said, I've got to look at the clock.
Yeah.
I've got a letterbox, so I don't think anyone's free if they've got a letterbox.
Yeah.
You know.